my tent right here. But before I set it up, I want to make sure that it's in a good spot. So I want to make sure that there's no sticks around here or rocks. So I might just move some sticks out of the way, because those will not be comfortable if you're sleeping on them. They might hurt your back. And then you want to make sure that above you there's no like big tree branches that might fall. So kind of make sure you're in an open space. Also make sure that you're not too close to like a campfire, because you don't want to be very close to it when you're in a tent. And just also think about where you want like the tent opening to be, where you want to be facing. So that'll be something to keep in mind. So here I've taken everything out of my bag. Here is the actual tent itself. So it's got all the zippers, everything like that. I'll lay it out, but I'll work on that here in a minute. And then we have our tent poles here. They're pretty cool. They fold down really small, but then they just kind of clip together like this. And it'll make two big long poles. And then here I have my rain fly. So this is just going to keep us dry when we're in our tent, because it's not waterproof right there. All right, so here I've got my tent laid out, so I'm ready to go ahead and put it up. So you see how this is the bottom part, it's on the bottom, and then I've got my opening facing this direction here. So see, I can get in and out of my tent that way, and I decided that I wanted to face it that way. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my poles together. It puts together pretty easily. All right. And what I'm gonna do is, you'll see this yellow part right here. It's kind of like a sleeve. So your tent pole is just gonna go right through that, and then you're gonna want it to go through the other part as well. So straight across from it. So your tent poles are kind of gonna make an X across your tent. So there's my first one. And then I'll go ahead and do my second one, just the same way. Same thing. So it's just going to cross right over. Keep feeding it through. And that's all good. We have all of our poles in the tent. We're going to go ahead and kind of set them up. So what we need to do is, each corner of the tent has one of these. And this is where the pole is going to slide right into. So just like that. And then the pressure, when both of the poles are in theirs, is going to hold them in there and keep it from coming out. So we'll go to the opposite corner, and we're going to do the same thing. And I went ahead and did the pole that's on top. Just makes it a little bit easier. And you kind of have to wiggle it a little bit. And then here I'm going to do the same thing I did on the other side. Okay? And then I'm going to do that on both of the opposite corners as well. So we'll do it with this corner. And then we'll go do it with the last corner. All right, and then each of the sides where the poles go is going to have a clip like this. So it just clips on like that, so your tent isn't all in there. So it kind of spreads it out a bit. So we'll do that on each corner. And one really good idea is to stake your tents down. I don't actually have any stakes with me, but they would just go right in this ring as well. So you'd stick the stake in and put it in the ground, and then it won't go anywhere or blow away. Very important. So this is the rain fly. We're going to go ahead and put that on. So what you want to do is make sure that the openings, so here I have my zippers. There's one on both sides, which works because there's an opening, a door on both sides. So I have a door over here and a door on the other side. So I want to make sure that my zippers are where my door is. That way I can get in and out. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of toss it over here. It's a little windy, but that's all right. Just try to kind of center it. And then if we look under here, you'll see that we have Velcro. So we're going to go ahead and Velcro the flag to the tent, as well as use these buckles right here, and they go right in and clip in like that, and you can actually tighten them, which we'll do in a minute. We're gonna do that on all sides of the tent. Almost there. One more side to go. And then we can actually go ahead and tighten all of our clips. That way it's nice and tight. Not gonna flap around. Last part, it would be really good if you had stakes, but we don't, so we're just gonna go ahead and try a stick. So I'm just gonna stick one of these into the ground, see if it stays. That way when I unzip my tent, here I kind of have a little room. Maybe you could leave your shoes out there if you want, right under there, and then you can go ahead and get into your tent. I am in my tent. It's completely put up. I'm ready to go ahead and put my sleeping bag, my pillow, a couple different things in here, and take a nice nap. One thing I did forget to mention, before you do put your tent down, you want to put some kind of tarp or ground cloth down. That way you'll stay nice and dry, and it just provides a little bit more. Now we're ready to go ahead and take our tent down. So first I'm going to take the rain fly off, and then just kind of go backwards from what I did before. All right, so we're going to go ahead and pack up our tent back in our bag here. So I'm going to start with the tent poles, just because they can sometimes be hard to get back in there. And we'll put them here on the side. And then I'm going to take my tent, and it's really, really hard to do. What you're going to do is stuff it back in the bag. So, super complicated. Just stuff it in. Very hard. You don't have to roll it. You don't have to do anything like that, because if you roll it, you might be kind of folding it in the same spot every time, and then it would maybe like ruin the waterproofing on it. So you just stuff it in there, and then what we're gonna do is, again, same thing with our rain fly. So we're gonna put it back in there, and then we will be all set. And there we are.